Wiping your raid group is kind of a terrible way to spend your evening, especially in a new raid that everyone's excited about progressing in. In this video, we're going over the first boss of the Sanctum of Domination, Tarragrue, and everything you need to know to get through the fight in the painless possible way. Keep in mind that this is a guide well suited for beginners and non-hardcore raiders that covers LFR and Normal Difficulty, so if you're looking for additional challenges, there's a bit more research to be done. My name is Ivona from momsden.com, and if you're here for the first time, go ahead and press that sub button. I do simple guides for classes, raids, and collectibles, and if you enjoy getting some easy in-game wins and chill livestream content, you'll love it here. Now back to Tarragrue. The fight actually begins quite a bit before the boss encounter, as you'll face your infused Goliaths on the way to the boss, who will drop an Anima sphere, and you'll get to choose from the same Anima powers that normally drop for you in Torghast. This is a pretty fun mechanic and a nice way to beat the Torghast monster with his own weapons, and in general this should be a fun encounter. Now if you're on voice with your group, you may be able to have some conversations about which anima powers you want to pick, but even if you're rocking your own playlist at 4 AM and playing with complete strangers, there are things that will generally help you if you know them. The absolute best anima power you want to have in your group is the ever-beating heart that counters stun and fear effects that I'll get to later on. Another great one is the Satchel of the Hunt, as it gives additional speed to players so you can move through the mist ability faster, and we'll talk about that too. The third one you want to make sure you have is the Disembodied Mystic Hands for some extra damage. If your group has any coordination, it's a good idea for a tank to get the heart, a healer to get the satchel, and a DPS to get the hands. But if you're out of luck or out of Discord, anyone having them should work for you. The rest of your picks should be common sense, and for the love of everything that matters to you, avoid picking anima powers that have the words knockback, detonate, or apply any kind of misery to your party members under any circumstances. Unless you want to troll your group at 4 AM when everyone just wants to go to bed, but don't be that person. If you happen to take something terrible, or you want to change your mind about the anima powers you took, you can reset them in front of the boss room at the big pillar, and then you'll need to run back and take different anima powers from those same anima globes that spawned after killing the Goliaths. The first ability I'd like to talk about is the Predator's Howl, and that's the very reason why you want to be loosely spread. Some players will find themselves having purple circles around them, and that will undeniably fear anyone standing too close to them, which is less than 5 yards in this case. So make sure that doesn't happen, as it's quite annoying. Healers can and should dispel anyone who's affected, melee DPS being the priority for the obvious cluster-related reasons. Tarragrue will occasionally target a player with Chains of Eternity, which pretty much means they'll get stunned after 8 seconds and then pulled in towards the boss and into certain death. The way to prevent that is to have a player who took the ever-beating heart stand between the boss and the targeted player and soak the stun, denying Tarragrue the opportunity to obliterate one of your teammates. Some classes have a stun immunity on their own, so if nobody gets the heart, there's still some hope for the chain guy if you play your cards right. It would be best if you dedicate a spot for the marked player to run to, as that makes it easier for the stun helpers to spot them. It's a good idea for that spot to be behind the tank, especially if the very tank has the ever-beating heart anima. Then there's the Hungering Mist, a graphically demanding ability that may turn your graphics card into oatmeal if you're playing on a seasoned machinery. Basically, the whole ground will be covered in black goo, except for a shiny triangle, which is your safe spot. Make absolutely sure you're rushing over there, because if you don't, you'll be suffering heavy damage and eventually die. Running to the safe spot will happen 3 times in this stage. And that's why it's good to have someone with the Satchel of the Hunt anima power to speed you up. Also, if you luck out on getting the oddly intangible key anima, you can just stand in the black goo and flex at your teammates, as you'll be just fine. Once you've done all this 3 times, the black goo will despawn and you'll go back to the normal phase. Tarragrue occasionally likes to buff himself with the Fury of the Ages, getting him to hit harder and faster. This is removable with any form of soothe ability, so that's good news. But if you have anyone in your party with the Disembodied Mystic Hands anima power, do not soothe, as that player can steal the enrage, becoming the one who hits harder and faster, and that's kind of what you want. Another ability is the Grasp of Death, affecting random players with a big shadow damage over time, and they should be on their healer's radar for some spot heals for the next 40 seconds or so. If you've got the unstable form Anima, it will in fact remove your dots if it procs while you're affected, so that's good news as well. And last but not least, the tanks get some problems of their own, as they will get slammed with Overpower and receive a crushed armor debuff, which is pretty self-explanatory. Defensive cooldowns and taunt swapping are your best friends, and try to get some defensive Anima powers like Ephemeral Effigy or Overgrowth Seeding, as they will help a lot. Once Tarragrue is at 10%, all your Anima powers will get taken away, and he will start dealing 500% increased damage, but only through melee attacks, as he will stop casting all of his other abilities. This is where the boss should be kited throughout the room, and if you're the unfortunate soul doing that, use all your immunities when he catches up to you, and good luck. That's pretty much it when it comes to this fight. Stay tuned as more simple Sanctum guides are coming up soon. Big thanks to all the channel supporters who are making these guides possible, and if you'd like to become one of them, you can do so by becoming a member of the channel here on YouTube or on Patreon and getting yourself some cool perks. Good luck in the Sanctum, have fun, and bye bye.